joining us once more on Give It a Name with Jennylyn. The show you can choose to name by going to my website, giveitanametv.com, and writing to me with any suggestions you have for what this segment of my show can be called. It's such a privilege to sit here and do these shows with these awesome guests that I've had in the past, and especially my guest today. Today I have the honor and company of the Chief of the Mountain View Police Department, Chief Scott Vermeer, as well as the coordinator of the PAL Foundation, which we're going to be speaking a lot about today, Alyssa Hamlin. Thank you both for being here today. I know that Saturdays are so much going on, and I'm grateful that you've taken the time to come. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Sure, I'm really excited that you are here with us. So I was going to start off, and I just wanted to ask you, Chief, what are the criteria for becoming the Chief of Police?
Well, police chiefs are appointed by the city manager of a city. So it's an application process where we apply the chief, but it's typically sort of somewhat like the military, where you kind of go up in ranks through a career and then ultimately apply to be the chief, sort of like being the CEO of a company, but it's a paramilitary organization of the police department.
Oh, that's really awesome. And of course, I'm sure a lot of your behavior and your performance and all of that comes into play, right?
That's what we bring into it. Is we bring our education, our experience, and our performance and against other qualified candidates, and ultimately, again, the city manager chooses who he wants to lead the city's police force.
That's awesome. So today our focus is talking about PAL, and I'm going to start off by asking exactly what is PAL, and I don't know which of you would like to answer the question.
Well, I can tell you just a little bit that PAL is it's a part of the police department, and it's also separate from the police department. It's its own 501c3 charitable organization, but it's also part of our police department. And what it is, it's a program for us in the police department, really a crime prevention program by getting kids and responsible adults, many of them police officers and other employees of the police department, involved with them so that they develop good, positive, healthy relationships with good role models. They have structured activities, and we try and help them with the challenges of being a young person in Mountain View today.
That's great. Part of why I started my show is because I wanted to start a foundation for young people in the community. A few times when I've sat around like Starbucks and stuff, I've observed young people just standing around swearing, smoking. And growing up in South America, there's always different outlets where you could go and spend your time and stay out of trouble. But it's a different world and a different country. And I just got the idea. So this is why I'm just fascinated that you're doing this. The name I had for mine was Life Wires, but I like PAL, it works. So would you like to tell us what's the mission of PAL?
The mission of PAL really is, again, crime prevention, preventing youth from getting involved in criminal activity and gangs. And it is that the mission is really around the whole idea that it's cops and kids together doing positive activities, providing structure.
Oh, great. Well, the second question I was going to answer, you've already answered it. You answered it. So I wanted to ask you, why did the Mountain View Police Department start this organization?
We started PAL really based on the fact that I had experience before working with PAL and knew how effective it was. But it really came from the idea that being a kid is pretty tough, and then there are other challenges we throw at some of the kids in the community, which are that they may not have access to the kinds of things that you were talking about when you were growing up. And we can have a little bit of a socioeconomic divide in this city and others, in which some of kids are highly scheduled, have a tremendous amount of activities from the time they wake up in the morning till they go to bed at night. Their parents have them scheduled between tutors and school and private soccer coaches, etc. And there's a segment of our community that their parents may not either know about or have access to, or the ability to put them even in a Little League team or anything like that. So what we wanted to do is provide a low to no cost option for kids to provide positive activities for youth.
Great. We need that.
Yeah.
So are all your police officers involved?
Well, they're not. All of them are involved in the mission of helping kids, but we have a large percentage that do volunteer their own time to supervise and chaperone and volunteer with the kids.
Okay, so is it only the policemen and officers involved in this organization, or other people from the community involved apart from the kids?
Yeah, we do have a lot of people in our community that like volunteering. They help with our programs. We, our mentoring program, we have people in the community, and then,
Okay, so then what is the relationship between PAL and the police organization?
Well, again, PAL itself as an organization is its own separate organization, but its biggest sponsor is the Mountain View Police Department, which provides it what we call in-kind funds. So we have the police department provides some money to pay for support staff for PAL. We give PAL a desk, a phone, a copy machine, all those kinds of things, as well as bringing all the resources of the police department to assist PAL in what they do, because our missions are the same, which is to help kids reduce crime.
Great. Would you like to share some of the programs that you have for them with us?
We have various programs throughout the year. We have a dance program. We have a Kick, Lead, and Dream soccer program during the summer. We have a mentoring program that goes throughout the entire school year. We have a tennis program in November and December. And then, we take the kids on field trips and different outings. And then we also have a boxing program run by one of our SRO officers, Ron Cooper. And then we also do kind of partner with our youth services with Dreams and Futures, and that's a summer program during the day.
Great, thank you. So would either one of you like to share with us how it came about, how PAL got started? And is it a national thing, or is it just a
So there is kind of three levels. There's National PAL, which is an organization that supports PAL type organizations, PAL Police Activities League.
Okay.
And then there's a state organization, California PAL, California Police Activities League, which has statewide activities that we participate in. We've taken a soccer team to the state PAL tournament.
Wow.
We've gone on a state run camping trip at our state parks. And then we have a local PAL, which is ours, Mountain View PAL, which focuses primarily on kids in Mountain View. And how it came about for us here is, again, just the need was there. There was the enthusiasm of officers to get more involved in the community, and they just needed a vehicle to do that with, and PAL really is the perfect vehicle.
And do you see it, can you safely say that it is creating some change in our community, having this program for these kids?
I definitely do. You see improvements with the kids, and how the kids already know what PAL is just from word of mouth, and parents saying how great it is, and the officers making a difference and with the community and the kids.
And are you guys satisfied that the word is getting around and that enough young people know about it and are getting involved, or would you like more people to become involved?
It's both. I mean, we feel that a lot of our kids, especially in kind of our target schools and ages, do know about PAL. But we also have to be able to build the capacity to take on more kids as we make it the word out that more kids want to join. Some of our programs is more kids want to join than we have the capacity to do. So we're hoping really to, again, build capacity. That's why we do some fundraising type things. We have a 5K fun run coming up at Shoreline Park on November 5th that we're hoping to get our PAL kids out and running, and racers and community members out there too to raise funds. So again, we can build more capacity so more kids can get involved.
Well, please let me know how I can help to get, sponsors, or get the word out there to help you get more sponsors.
That's a deal.
Because I feel very passionate about this. I know that a lot of our streets are plagued with gangs, and I think they're just great kids who just haven't had direction or haven't had a choice to do anything else, and so they go with, my mother always said, Satan finds work for idle hands. Whatever that means, I understood it to mean if you're not doing something good, inevitably you end up doing something that's not very good.
Well, I couldn't agree with your mom more. So that's really what that's the whole point, is that in lieu of other opportunities, we're able to do it. And as a police department, we're uniquely able to identify kids because we actually see them doing nothing out on the street corners. And those are the kids that our officers literally put their arm around and say, come on, we'd really like you to get involved in the boxing program. We'd really like to show you about our tennis program. And then Alyssa in the schools really starting to start at the very bottom level or youngest level with her mentoring program.
Okay, great. So who is serving in the mentoring program?
We have, last year we did it at Castro Elementary, and we did 1st through 5th grade, and the teachers all appointed the kids that they thought would benefit most from the program.
Right.
And then this year we're doing 4th and 5th grade at Castro, and also 6th and 7th at Graham Middle School, just because we're trying to reach a broader amount of kids.
Oh, that's great. How wonderful it would be if you could penetrate all these schools and, start mentoring the kids. I learned from somebody when I was preparing for this interview that the city has purchased a building that is going to be primarily is it for PAL or is it just for the young people in the community? I was told it's somewhere.
It's a church. It was currently a church on Rock Street, I believe, and and what they and though the plans haven't been totally finalized of what it's going to look like, it really was, I believe, purchased with the intent to expand the ability to provide services in a place for youth and our teens to go safe with structured activities. I think that I know our council's always been supportive of, and our recreation department allowing PAL to share space, share programs. Many of the kids that are in Alyssa's mentoring program go straight from that mentoring program to a city rec program after. So we work hand in hand with the existing programs. We don't want to duplicate any services that are out there. We're not in competition with anything. We're always just trying to fill the gaps so that kids don't fall in those gaps.
That's really wonderful. I mean, I've lived in this community for at least 15 years and never heard of PAL prior to starting to investigate when I came up with the idea for the live wires. So this is wonderful. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you get the word out there and help you find sponsors.
That's great.
Because this is a cause I'm seriously passionate about.
Well, we would love to have you. Do you run? Because we'd have you out race. Do you walk?
I can walk.
Okay. All right. Then if you can walk, we're going to have you out there on November 5th, and we are going to take you up on helping us get sponsors, because we really are looking for sponsors for this, because the whole purpose of this fundraiser is to get a bus for the kids, because one of the biggest challenges we have in all our youth services is the kids that we serve don't have parents that can shuttle them around to the activities. So we typically have to pick them up wherever they're at and deliver them home at night, or they can't participate in the activities. And so if we're able to kind of procure a bus, then we're going to be able to serve a lot more kids, because we want to get them there safely and that their parents feel comfortable with that.
Where do you hide your wings?
No.
I'm just so impressed. You know, we hear about the policemen, and so many times all we think they do drive by, ticket you, pick you up when you're in trouble. But you don't often hear the side of all the good that you're doing in the community. Thank you to you and all the policemen that protect us and service us in the various parts of the country.
Well, thanks.
So,
we're very lucky. We have an incredibly supportive community of our police department.
So Alyssa, you are the mentor and a coordinator of the PAL organization. Can you tell us what that means?
Well, I'm the mentor coordinator, so we started this program back in 2010. We applied for a grant through National PAL and were awarded it, along with 150 other chapters throughout nationwide. And what I do is I match the kids and the mentors. So I go recruit mentors and see what kids are in most need of this program. And we do activities like we do sports, we do games, we take them on field field trips. We do holiday parties, and it's just good interacting with the police officers, the kids, so they get that good influence.
So what is the criteria, or what are the criteria for becoming a mentor? I don't think I asked you that.
The mentor needs to like kids, likes to be around them.
Okay.
But basically right now we have, it's mostly police personnel. We have our police chief, and then we have our captain, and then we have lieutenants, we have detectives, we have, SRO officers, just different ranks throughout the police department, as well as admin. And then we also have people in the community that help, and that, they just want to be helping the kids and want to be a positive role model.
Alyssa just kind of sets up the day for us. They call her Teacher Alyssa in our group. Teacher Alyssa, what are we doing today? And then we all show up in our regular, kind of as part of our day, or people come off duty to volunteer. And we do everything from art projects to play sports with them, to read with them, to talk. And so it isn't anybody who wanted to volunteer. It isn't any special skill other than what Alyssa said, is you just gotta kind of want to love kids and make a difference. You have to have a clean criminal history. That's the safety of the kids is paramount for us, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But truly, it's just a desire to want to help the kids in the community.
So all of you people watching out there, if you love kids, I'll find out how you can get a hold of the chief, and if you want to offer some time, please. Anything we can do to make the world better, let's all do that. And we can all put on wings like the chief and Alyssa. So my next question is, what are some of the difficulties or challenges that you guys are facing now with PAL?
Well, really, the difficulties are like what everyone else is dealing with, is some of the economics, but the community's been very good to us. The mentoring program, again, is funded all the way through a grant through National PAL based on a stimulus grant from President Obama's stimulus package. So we've been very fortunate. That whole thing is paid for a grant. It really is just expanding our programs. As I said, the majority of our kids don't have the ability to have parents transport them from point A to point B. And so right now we have to kind of cobble that together. Volunteers are putting people in their cars, and it's not very smooth at times, and it doesn't allow us to serve as many kids as we want. And we spend a tremendous amount of money on renting commercial transportation, buses and stuff. So we believe if we can get some buses and vans, we're going to serve more kids more efficiently with less money. And so that's kind of our biggest challenge right now, is to find some transportation for kids that is safe and reliable to get them back and forth to our programs.
Oh, that'd be great. How do we get a bus? If you could get something like an old school bus, that'd be great, right?
That's exactly what we're looking at. I mean, we're trying to find not to get into the details of it, something that, but it really is like a school bus, so that we can transport a fair amount of kids back and forth.
Well, we'll put our energy toward it, and hopefully we'll get a bus, because I think that there is a need to do this. I mean, it's really making a difference. Just getting those kids that you have in a program that's making a difference. So what does it cost the kids?
It costs them $5 per year to do all activities. And so really we feel that's, for some reason, if a family, $5 just means the difference between eating that night or whatever, we'll waive the fee. But we believe that that kids can come up with $5, that paying some amount puts value to them, as opposed to something that's for free.
Yes.
But we don't want to be of any economic burden to the child or the family. We just want to and make that discourage them at all from doing that.
I really agree with that, because there is some psychology involved when you're putting a dime on the table versus not paying anything. I took a class last year at the church, and it was offered for free, and initially 60 people signed up initially. And it was a great program, and toward the end there were only 10 people left. And the teacher thought it was because it was for free, people didn't really value it as much. So now she's charging. And she has a larger number of people in the class. So it's just like if you go to the store and the shirt costs more money, it's just assumed that it's a better shirt. So, and it also is teaching the children that everything in life doesn't come for free. And I think that's a very good lesson for everyone to learn very early in life. So then, can you share some PAL success stories with us, with our viewers?
I have a boy in our mentoring program. Unfortunately, his father got arrested in Mountain View, and he was there to witness it when he was younger. So he is just very, traumatized by the experience. He's very, very terrified of officers in uniform because he did have to, be there when that happened. So he was enrolled in our mentoring program, and we were wondering why, he wasn't coming. And his mom would walk him up to the mentoring every day, and he'd literally run away because he was just, so terrified. And his mom would bring him back daily, and he'd run away. And he even at one point ran away from home because he saw an officer, and he's just really afraid. And halfway through the year, he finally agreed to come to the mentoring program with his counselor just to sit in and watch. And he didn't have to participate, but if it's something he was interested in, then he can continue coming. By the end of that hour, he was playing with the kids, he was talking to the officers, and he just had a complete turnaround. Now he is the first one to arrive at the mentoring program. He has a great relationship with his mentor, who is an officer at Mountain View PD, and he comes to the field trips, and he just loves the program, and he now understands that cops are people too, and it's unfortunate what happened to his dad, but he understands that police officers aren't scary, and they're very approachable, and he loves being in the program now and really respects the officers.
That's really great. How old is he?
He is in 5th grade right now.
I never can connect the grades to the years because I
about
can't.
10.
Oh, 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I should know by now. I've been living in America long enough.
Yeah. And we have another great success story, which is a young man who, early in his high school career, was getting in a lot of trouble, starting to get involved with gangs. Ultimately got kicked out of his high school, got brought under the wing of Officer Ron Cooper in his boxing program, has brought, to make a long story short, has brought him all the way around. He's now an employee of the police department in college, was our PAL Youth of the Year, and so he's gainfully employed in college. If you see him, he is a tall, handsome, squared away young man that you just I think we're all so proud of him, including his parents, and he's kind of was on the wrong path, and he is on a wonderful path right now. And so
I love these stories. I mean, if only we could infiltrate all these gangs and recruit these kids over, we will have a much better world to live in. I hate it when I wake up in the morning and I turn the news on and some gang person killed an innocent bystander. I mean, there's so much of that going on. What can you envision how this PAL program can possibly somewhere down the road recruit some of those kids that are in those gangs? Do you think it's possible?
Well, I think it is in the sense that, I mean, if we're talking about the young man I showed, he really was starting to dabble in that. And so so we really kind of, Officer Cooper, who deserves the credit of that, really took him from the clutches of that in a positive way. But every one of these kids that we deal with, they're really, like you said, at some point, they're either going to be structured and doing something positive, but if they're idle, the gangs will find time for them to do things. And so everything from the 5th grader that Alyssa's talking about to just the 2nd and 3rd graders, kids will start to form, emulate some of the gang behavior sometimes as early as grammar school or middle school. And so the fact that we're getting them doing positive stuff is the start. And, our hope is that they never go down that way because of it. But if they do, we still have programs that can pull kids out of it because they don't really want to be there, I don't believe. They want to be doing something positive, but they just many times don't have the alternatives.
Right. And there's some kids that just want to be with the in group.
Right.
And sometimes the in group, the peer pressure group, or the group that you don't want to belong to. And so I think it's really great that children are being influenced by you to make the choice to go in the right direction. And I'm sure every single person that's come out of your program is going to do something fabulous with their life. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, you did describe some of the programs and the activities that the kids partake in, or that you offer. Did you guys tell me you have a soccer team as well, a football team as one of your activities?
So we currently don't have a soccer team, though. Alyssa and I were talking just this week to a young lady who wants to start up a PAL soccer team for some young ladies in the community. It's fantastic. We just love the idea. I mean, but we have a soccer camp during the summer, because we know during the summer, again, it's that idle time for kids. So and soccer tends to be the most popular program we can put forward in our community. So through a partnership with a lot of different people, including a young man by the name of Akash Nigam, who started what we call Kick, Lead, and Dream in partnership with PAL. We provide a program where we have now hundreds of kids who many buses, we pick up kids and take them home at night, and they have a full soccer camp experience like many people would pay hundreds of dollars for, that they go to, and that prepares them. Many of them then go on to other soccer teams because of that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, as always, I hit this part. We're running out of time. Okay. I wanted to suggest, though, I mean, has anybody ever thought of like renting, because we only have a minute, has anybody ever thought of like borrowing or renting a bus from the school when it's not being used and these activities are happening? We do that, but that's where I'm saying a lot of our money, it goes to renting it from the schools or renting from private things. We spent between the department and PAL over $10,000 last year renting buses. And so we're saying if we'd like to apply that more directly to the kids. I get that. And that was still even for a limited amount. It's, the whole transportation thing is an expensive venture. So. Well, this has been a great interview. I really hope that for all the young people out there who has some time to spare, you go on the website. And what's the website address? It's www.mvpal.org. And is there a phone number? It's 650-903-6139, and that's the direct line to PAL. So if you're a young person watching this show and you've got some time to spare, please contact them and find out how you can gainfully have fun doing things that will make your life better. Thank you so much for watching me again on Give It a Name with Jennylyn. I'd like to thank my great guests. They were so informative. Thank my crew, and thank you for watching Give It a Name with Jennylyn once more. Hopefully this segment will help change your life or someone in your life. Thank you.